Hello, Aries, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of August 9th through the 15th. And during that time, we first have a waning crescent moon. And that is a time when we're starting to wrap up those things that we've been working on during the cycle as the new moon approaches. So we're kind of looking back and just getting things wrapped up, but also thinking, what is it that we might want to start when the new moon approaches? Because that comes in the new moon's on the 12th or the 13th, kind of depending on where you are. So that, of course, that's a fresh start, new beginnings, a good time to either rework the things that we've been working on to get them under control if you did not, or wrap up and start new things. So keep those moon energies in mind, of course, as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Aries. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is that you are good enough. Every time I see that card, I think of the SNL Stuart Smalley skit where he says, "You are good enough, and gosh darn it, people like you." So I'm sorry, that's aging me, I'm sure, but it is what I think of when I see that card. But Aries, you are good enough, and whatever self doubt you're having about that, let's let those fall to the wayside, right? As I'm shuffling the tarot, usually I have a fun weekly reminder, but this week I do need your help on something. I'm thinking about maybe doing the occasional live stream, and maybe this might start in a couple of months, maybe when the weather isn't as beautiful as it has been, when the weather gets a little more yucky and cold outside, and I'm not outside as much. But what I need to know, I was thinking maybe weeknights or even weekends. And all I need your help on is maybe typing your opinion on that. When would you be most likely to listen to a live stream or come to a tarot live stream? I probably do like questions, that sort of thing, kind of an open-ended, discussion or just tarot readings for free. So if you could help me by typing in your preference there, whether it be a certain day of the week or weekend, let me know. And also, if you could put your time zone in for me too, that would be great. That way I can kind of see where everybody is and what night might be the absolute best for that. So if you could help me with that this week, I would really, really appreciate it. So thank you in advance for giving me that info. All right, let's get into this reading. We've got Aries, August 9th through the 15th. You are good enough. Your present energy right now is the Fool energy. So, yeah, you might be having a little bit of self doubt here as you start off on some new adventure, something that is in your life. This is a new path for you. And, of course, all of us feel that way when you're starting off something new. You kind of have those little self doubts that come in and you think, oh, can I do this? But, here's the card telling you, you are good enough. Go ahead and go for it. Whatever self doubts you may have coming in, let's try to get rid of those and just kind of keep that positive mindset going. This, even if it's positive affirmations that you have to put on little notes and things, I do that a lot in my own life, just to remind me to just be a little bit more mentally positive. So keep that in mind. Your current situation is the Sun card. So you're very happy about this. This is one of the happiest cards in the deck. You're very happy about this new beginning. I think whatever it is, whatever you've chosen, this could run the gamut for so many different things, of course, for different areas. But this could be a new job, this could be moving to a new area, this could be a new friendship, a new relationship, just anything new, some new path. It could be a new hobby that you're taking up, or just any new skill or any new thing that's in your life. But you're really happy about it, and it seems you are a little excited to do it. At the root of this situation is the Two of Swords. Let me turn this camera down a little bit so you can see these cards as they're coming out. Two of Swords here, which means that you're also sitting in a place of kind of thinking about some decisions. That makes sense when you are starting new. You're thinking, okay, I'm new at this. I'm not sure. And that's where that some of that, that, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it'll come to me anyway. You're making decisions, and you want to make the right decision, and you want to think this through. But again, it's that self-confidence. You don't want to make the wrong decision, but you know what, don't sit in indecision so long that you don't make a decision. If you make the wrong decision, you can always come back and make a correction there. But you're kind of in a place here where you're making decisions. That's just the duality. And when you're in something new, of course, you're making those decisions. And And it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, like, oh, do I do this thing first or that thing? So again, if you mess it up, you can always come back and redo. So don't get stuck in that energy there. In your recent past, here's the Page of Pentacles. So, this could be something that you've put some new money towards. This is kind of a new path in your finances. So this, again, this could be job related, but it could just be something you're putting your money into. And let's say that um, I'm going to use an example. Let's say that in the past you just bought up a new pottery wheel and you've never done this before and you've decided you want to take up this hobby. And so the indecision comes because there's maybe two different kinds of clay to work. I don't know this for sure because I don't do this, but maybe there's two different kinds of clay. This one's longer lasting, but this one looks better. So you're kind of at this indecision point. Well, which one do I? And they're both expensive. So you're trying to think, I want to make the right decisions. I want to not waste my money. So but again, and you look for advice, and maybe the whole community is kind of divided on it, and you're just going to have to make your own decision and say, you know what, I'm going to go with this. Let's start here. Let's see if it works out, and if it doesn't, I can always go back and correct it later, right? What is on your mind this week is the Four of Swords. So whatever you are doing, it's very restful, and it's almost, this is the card of rest and meditation. When you're doing something that you love, you know how they talk about being in the zone? And I feel like that's maybe something that you're taking up. It's something that you do love to do so much that time it's restful for you, even though it's probably activity, but it's something that's kind of meditative because when you do it, it clears your mind. This can be, working out is like this, right? That it clears your mind. And you can just think more clearly when it happens. Or if you really get into some sort of art form where you're just in that moment, and in the zone, that it is very restful and meditative. You might be thinking something through, maybe making this decision about something, right? So, make that is on your mind. It's on your mind that you want to take this thing up because it will be good for you just mentally in the long run too. What is just ahead of you this week is the Strength card with the 8 there. That I love that number and I love this card. So, again, you're going to pull on that inner strength to get yourself over these hurdles of just self-doubt that's coming through. You are good enough, and just keep going with that attitude. Just try to be as positive as you can this week. All right, what is in your advice position is the Six of Swords, which is about moving forward in very calm waters, moving forward into your future. And these are with new thoughts, new ideas. I'm sure all of this is conducive to that. Everything that you're going through right now is conducive to thinking bigger. Even you've made this step into something that's new for you. It's a new journey, and that opens up so many other doors. So just keep your mind open to those new thoughts and ideas that are coming in. And even though you might not be able to react to those immediately, you may have new fresh ideas. At least jot them down somewhere so that you don't forget them. Sometimes just being in that zone and being in a really good place, those ideas come, they come. You might not be able to put them into action right away, but you don't want to forget that you're having those thoughts also. What is beyond your control this week is the Hermit card. So another 4, number that's close to my heart. So you may want to look up angel number 44. The Hermit it's inevitable that you are going to be doing this thinking and this meditative thought. And that's exactly what the Hermit does. It's going in for that inner wisdom, for that deeper wisdom, those things that we already know, but maybe have not come to the surface yet. And we just really need to take the time to quiet our mind a little bit and think about those kinds of things, and as we're making decisions and moving towards the future here. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Aries is the 8 of Pentacles here, which is another 8. Again, now we've got angel number 44, but also look up 88. This is that in the zone card. This is the card of work and hard work and good work. It doesn't mean that you're working fruitlessly or aimlessly towards something, and is this your secret desire, is to be in that zone and to work hard and to try to achieve something? Or are you trying to avoid that? I'm going to say from this reading that this is your secret desire, that you're not trying to avoid that at all. You're ready for the hard work that it's going to take to get whatever this new thing is accomplished for you. I'm excited for you, whatever this might be. I mean, again, this could be so many different things for different areas, but and drop me a comment down below if there's something that is new to you that you're working really hard on. I'd love to see all the different options. For some of you, it's that you're building a house, or that you're moving into a new apartment, a new job, all those different things that could be new paths. I find that fascinating when it comes to tarot. All right. In your outcome here, Aries, Queen of Swords. So while all of this is going on, you're also, all of these swords that are appearing here in this reading. So we've got a lot of major arcana with the Sun and the Fool and the Strength card and the Hermit, right? That's 4 major arcana. And anytime I have 3 or 4 in a reading, I think this is kind of a major week for you, a major change week for you, some sort of transformation happening again with this new thing that's coming in. But the other thing I'm seeing now too is we've got Pentacles and we've got all these swords around, which is about communication and thought. The Queen of Swords definitely says what's on her mind. You can see it in this card. She's got her hand out. She doesn't mince words. She's also very logical, but also nurturing about that kind of logic and nurturing about new thoughts and new ideas. So that's definitely something that you will be embodying this week, is that version of the swords. I also want to look at what is missing, because I find it interesting anytime we have a missing element in the readings. Let's look at that as well. So because we have Pentacles and Swords, which Pentacles of course are that earth energy, things that are real and tangible that we can touch. The swords are definitely air energy. These are thoughts and words and things that are moving through the air. But what I don't see any wands, and that is about passion, things that are really driving us passionately. So this is more of an intellectual thing that we have going on, or a spoken thing that's going on. I also don't see any cups, which are about our emotions. So it's very interesting that you're very detached emotionally from this, and you're also kind of detached passionately from this. So keep that in mind, and that will make sense to some of you. That will resonate, and you're going to understand, oh, because it's this thing I'm engaged with, and I don't need emotion and I don't need passion to engage with it. So whatever that is, I always find that very interesting if that's a missing element. What is hidden from you this week, Aries, is the Queen of Pentacles. So again, so this queen, if she's embodying speaking and thinking very clearly and logically, the Queen of Pentacles, and this is missing, remember, she is embodying the earthly tangible realm when it comes to money and things, right? And you're not quite there yet. You're not there yet, and this is a missing element for you this week. So we see that this pentacle here was about a new thing that's coming, idea, a new thing coming in, or a new idea. This is the hard work that it takes. This would be more the money coming in, and that's not happening yet. So it's almost like you're working at this thing, and the reward isn't quite excuse me, the reward isn't there yet. That's hidden from you this week, but get to work, buckle down. Rewards come when you get that work done, right? But yeah, just remember that that is hidden from you. And also think about those other elements. And are they missing for a reason? And is it a good reason? Or do you maybe need to question, is your heart not in something, or does it not need to be? Or is your passion not in something and maybe it doesn't need to be? All right, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Aries as they work really hard for this reward that is off into the future. Reevaluate your priorities. Okay, well, that makes sense. And if that is, again, maybe about those missing elements, you may need to be thinking about that. And that's also why this Hermit card and this Four of Swords about going in deeper. Maybe those things do need to be involved, those missing elements. And that's kind of what's missing right now. All right, what do you need to do in the way of self-care? Self-care for Aries this week. And the card that you get is called Security. True security comes from having a reserve of time, space, energy, personal power, and love. Make deposits in all of these accounts and you'll be a wealthy person indeed. So, are you missing depositing in some of those accounts? Again, with those missing elements, and maybe not. Maybe this might just be a week where you do need to focus on this new project and those things will come back in. But maybe just remember that those are other areas of life that you do need to make deposits in. It's not all about work and getting this new thing done week after week. I can understand every once in a while we all have to take that time to really focus on something for a week or two, but then it's kind of back to life, right? And let let those the new thing work its way into our normal routine. So Aries, I wish you the best of luck with this. I love this reading. I think it's very positive. Whatever it is you're working on, I'd be very curious to know. Again, drop me a comment down below if you're comfortable sharing. It would be nice to hear how this new thing is affecting you and what it is for different Aries, for the different people in the Aries collective. So again, thank you so much for being here. I do hope that you can get something positive out of this reading this week, and come on back and see me next week. If you haven't liked and subscribed, that's a great way to find me, but come on back and let's see where your story goes next time. Thanks a lot. See you then. Bye bye.